What's going on, guys? Wilhelm Carver here, and today I am a little bit sick, so that's why I sound all nasally, but I am super excited to announce that I am doing my first ever interview on this channel. Yes, I did a project that actually requires some work, not just flashing comics and CDs at the screen. And the subject of today's interview is going to be Athenar, the main man of Midnight, one of my top 10, top 5 favorite bands of all time. I was recently in Houston, Texas for Hell's Heroes, my favorite heavy metal festival in America. And as always, it's such a fun time, and I have more videos coming on that in the future. But today, the subject is Athenar, who was very generous in sitting down and spending some time with me, answering my questions, my fanboy questions about his band. And it was a very informative time. I learned a lot, both about Midnight and music in general, and I'm excited to share all of what I learned with you here today. I did edit this video to be watchable, however, it is just listenable, so if you want to put it on in the background while you do something a little bit more productive, clean your room, organize your records or your comic books, masturbate, go ahead and do that. It is just listenable the whole way through. But enough talking from me. You guys clicked on this video to see Athenar, so let's get into that right now. Also, I forgot my shaving kit when I was packing for Houston, so that's why the peach fuzz on my face looks so bad. Okay, enjoy.
What's going on, cadavers? We are not in the morgue today. We are doing an interview with Athenar. Athenar, right. Thank you for taking time away from dismantling road signs and punting small animals. Common Yinzer activities.
Fuck yeah, man. Not anymore. We're on the streets. We're taking it to the streets today.
We are in lovely Houston, Texas for Hell's Heroes. Athenar just played Satanic Royalty in its entirety yesterday. If you didn't see it, you missed out. Make sure you catch them on subsequent tours. You will not be disappointed. Athenar, before we get in...
You may be disappointed.
Before we get into this...
Life is disappointing, so in general, you'll probably be disappointed.
Anyway. Most important thing out of the gates.
Yes.
You are actually not the biggest fan of interviews, and I wanted to ask, what is your least favorite question to be asked during an interview?
How's the tour going?
Okay, how's the tour going?
So get that one out of the way.
The first question I do want to ask. So on the Shocks of Violence EP that you extended to a bunch of covers from some well-known bands, some that are more local and near and dear to your hearts. One is the cover of T.A.P. by Black Axe.
Yeah.
That one has actually become extraordinarily popular, and you really solidified it as a Midnight song.
Yeah, I guess that's my Am I Evil?
Fair enough.
For Metallica.
It gets called for every show. So.
Yeah, and you know what? And at first for many years I didn't play it live because I shouldn't say wrote it off as like a cover song, but the thing is, it's a fucking great song, and it was really important to me as a child before I even had adult parts on my body. So I mean that song, and it wasn't written by me, obviously. It was written by other kids who were just a couple of years older than me, but were already very poetic at the age of 14.
There you go.
It's a great song by a very influential group of young kids who influenced me.
There you go. Obviously, you've done Cleveland metal, so a lot of bands that are local to you growing up that you've covered, as well as Shocks eventually being extended past just your own songs to a bunch of other covers. Yeah. Are there any other tracks that you think you may dig out from your covers that you want to make a mainstay in the Midnight catalog?
There's actually a few. I mean, I would like to do Eyes of Satan, I think, by Pagans. I always thought that one was a good one for me personally. Some kind of a Dead Boys one. You know, that one I thought turned out pretty good on that recent album, The Steel, Rust, and Disgust. I think the only other time we've done a cover, we did like a Halloween thing in Cleveland where we just played 3 songs. We just played 3 Venom songs. So but that doesn't, that's pretty standard. Yeah, I guess. I play some Venom. It's really easy.
Yeah.
But we did Cheech and Chong, Earache My Eye one time years ago, and that's pretty much it. But we kind of always stray away from covers.
Makes sense. I mean, obviously, there's anyone who can hear your influence, Venom, Bathory, Motorhead, but I think what a lot of people miss is that your music knowledge and taste is very eclectic. You have a lot of stuff that ranges even outside of metal in your collection.
Yeah. Actually,
going back
most outside. I mean, if you look at it numbers-wise, it's
like 60s soul. And
yeah. I mean, if you look at the records that I have, a majority of them are what I just call non-metal. I just keep, but That's not to say, of course, I guess I'm a heavy metal snob. I'm way more particular with my heavy metal. I just fucking hate bad metal just as much as I love good metal. So it's because it's too close to me.
What falls into the pit of good versus bad?
Well, whether I like it or not.
Fair enough.
That's my taste.
There you go.
my taste is God. But I mean, it just has to. Motorcycle man. And it just has to be something that strikes me,
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a lot of shitty metal, that's for sure. There's a lot of shitty music in general.
As far as time and effort go, I think you've done a phenomenal job, you and the people around you, at creating Midnight into be this wild live band. People that I talk to say that Midnight is one of the best bands that they've seen live. And going back to the record collecting, I know you have a few live recordings released. You have the Masonic thing from 2023. You have some live material off of No Mercy for Mayhem. Is there ever any goal to release a live record on a more attainable format?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just, to me, it has to sound and be presented well. Just haven't gotten around to doing that. It's like, sure, there some of them, I have a lot of good favorite live albums. I mean, but there are, of Alive, Live and Danger, Strangers of the Night, Misfits, Evil Live, even. It doesn't have to be like sonically huge, but it just has to be sonically exciting. And that's what's needed for a live album. And it's hard, really fucking hard to put that on record. So like when you say, because like when you're in a room, say even like, okay, a Sam Cooke album, the live album from Miami, the live at the whatever, blah, 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 in Miami. And it sounds like you're in the room. It sounds like some guys put a microphone right there, and it happens just by chance. It's hard to do it on purpose. It's hard to do all these things to make this trickery and make it sound and get that energy. When you're in the room and everybody's having a good time and dancing and singing and fucking going wild, they don't care if like, oh my gosh, he played a B flat when it should have been an A sharp. That's for you musicians out there. And but it doesn't matter. But when you listen to it on the record or live recording, it's gonna be like, oh my gosh, it sounds bad. It just sounds like someone put microphones in front of the amps, and there's no ambience. You don't get that. So that's a long answer to a
just
good
a
question.
Quick follow-up. I know you've expressed in the past a little bit of remorse about not recording live at CBGB's when you played. Is there a specific location or venue or city that you would have the mindset of, I want to record a Midnight live album there?
Well, I mean, I guess, Cleveland would be an obvious choice. It's, hometown, so it's always like the cool thing to be like play a place that you went to see a lot of concerts as a kid. So I mean, there's always that kind of feel. I mean, but other than that, I mean, no. I mean, just whatever. I'm just lucky that people are showing up to a gig. So if it sounds good and the feeling's good, it's. I'm not gonna shut it down to just one little spot, man.
Oh yeah,
it's the whole universe. Why not?
On to another segment that I thought of one night, and we are going to go through Midnight, a visual violation by Hannah Verbeuren. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yep.
Hannah Verbeuren. If you take one thing away from this interview, go buy this book. A famous photo of Midnight, she probably took it. She gave me permission to use her photos in this interview, so Hannah, if you're for some reason watching this, thank you very much. I thought it would be fun to take a look at the growing up of Midnight, I guess you could say, and show a couple of photos that I picked out from the book and see if there was any story or any background or anything you remember from that time.
Sure.
Going into it.
Okay.
We have Grog Shop, Cleveland, Ohio, 2010.
Wow, okay. Oh, yeah, well, that's... Damn, I guess that would have been with the, maybe Municipal Waste.
So opening act.
Yeah, we were opening up for them, and yeah, there it is, man. That's pure street there. That's still tennis shoes and my old P bass, and I believe if that is that show, that's the first time Commander Vanek saw us play. You know,
so didn't play with you, but saw.
No, if this is the show, which yeah, it is, because I can see Philly's flying G right there. So that's Sean Philly on guitar, and then so this photo is kind of significant because of that. That was the first show, you know, Commander Vanek saw us play and said, "Whoa, dude, who's this fucking band, bro?" So yeah, so there you go.
Kick ass. This was Hollywood 2011 or 12. This was, according to Hannah, Commander Vanek's second show.
Okay, then yeah, no, she's probably right. Hollywood. Okay, so the first one, because we played 2 shows in California. It might have not been his second show. It might have been his third. But the first one was in Cleveland, and then we went to, I think, she might be right, but then we went to California and played at San Francisco, and then we played this LA show and to be quite honest, yeah, I really don't recall it.
Fair enough.
Not other, you know, it wasn't like I was hammered or it was a gig.
Quite arguably the most infamous midnight photo of all time, with the flying the P bass with the fire.
Yeah, that was in Portland, at that famous bridge in Portland, and it was funny because obviously it was in the afternoon and we were just kind of walking around, and it's like a touristy type of bridge, so and it's in a park, so there was plenty of other people just watching and looking, okay, well, why is this person dressed like this, and why is he setting an instrument on fire? And so yeah, it was done rather quick. I mean, but I do like that photo too, for whatever reason, man. The wind just took it right. Yeah, you don't catch kind of fire in a bottle like that too often. So
it's a great shot.
Yeah, good work, Anna.
This is one I didn't know if we were going to be able to put. I'm going to be able to put on YouTube, but I figured, who cares? I was unsure if this was for Rebirth by Blasphemy or if this was for.
That was in the same sessions of Rebirth, because this was like that back cover.
Yeah.
And then so we were just horsing around and had some, you know, just goofing off. And the thing about it is, you know, and Hannah brought this up too. Maybe she brought it up in other interviews with Hannah's a female. So, you know, like some people, you know, like that's kind of like the things like, well, you know, it's just like art. It's just photography. It's the visuals, whatever it is. And, you know, fortunately she can kind of get away with this with her being a woman, female, you know. And so, but yeah, it was just kind of just trying to just be over the top, you know, just be extreme shit. And that was an idea too, like with a plastic bag over someone's head. Just, you know, it just, again, it's supposed to be over the top.
Exactly.
You know, it's not supposed to be taken anything more than that. Just to be. I've never really seen too many other pictures of heavy metal bands with naked people with a bag. There's a truck driving man with a bag over their head, and you know, so yeah, just supposed to be over the top.
Awesome. The pentagram photo from this shoot is probably one of the coolest photos I think I've ever seen come out of Midnight.
That's my idea.
Yeah.
But it was Hannah's doing. It was at my dad's body shop. You know, you have a lift to lift up cars.
Yeah.
So she was on top of the lift while we were down underneath it. Mm-hmm. You know, and so she had that's how she could get that perspective of looking down and getting that shot. And it was cool because, you know, in true Midnight form, it was just kind of like, okay, well, what's available here now? Like, what can we use? There were just some towels, like those moving blankets and shit. We put them on there and like spray painted them, and just kind of, it was just very, again, just using what tools are available around you at the time. Right. So that was cool. There it is.
That's it. And then the final one, your shoot for your Decibel magazine for the cover, but you also did some outtake shots.
Yeah.
This is arguably my favorite spread in the entire book, just because of how 70s it looks.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool that you think it's 70s. Because I was so like, maybe it's a little too red.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, Hannah liked it, you know, and I kind of just had that idea of, I just wanted those hands to come up and, you know, like kind of like it was like a lot of my ideas were just stolen from Exciter. So it was like the Violence and Force album cover. You just see the hand coming. I always thought that was creepy, just a hand. So I just like, maybe there's like someone's hand coming up and grabbing me. I just thought that would have been a cool idea, but just a female hand. You
have a lot of wacky ideas as far, like, there's a lot of stuff in this book to go through and look through. You have a lot of wacky ideas. Is it more so when you're taking photos like that? Is it you or the photographer, in this case Hannah? Whose perverse mind is?
It's a collaboration. I mean, usually it's my stupidity, and then Hannah tames it, or
vice
molds
versa.
It, makes it a little more like doable.
Awesome.
And so it's always a mix. Yeah.
All right. Well, that is a vast violation of 1,000 Nights in Sodom. You can buy it. I will link Hannah's socials in the description below, as well as the link to Brazilian Points to buy the book.
It comes with a 7-inch record.
I believe there are still some left. So if you don't own the book and you're a Midnight fan, again, the only thing you should take, if you take one thing away from this interview, buy the book. You obviously talk about being influenced by a lot of musical talents. That's, just not with metal, but obviously going back to 60s Soul. I'm sure there's John Coltrane made an appearance there in that collection.
Yeah.
If someone came up to you after a show, a 15-year-old, given that Satanic Royalty's turning 15 this year, and said, hey, what other music would you recommend to a 15-year-old who's really getting into not just metal, but music in general? Because there's a million records. Where would you point them to?
This is something, this is kind of easy. And this is what, I was always into a lot of different shit, but like, there was this book that came out, and I gave one to Hannah's husband as well. I think it's a really good book because it's called Stairway to Hell. It's like the top 500 heavy metal albums of all time. So I was maybe 16, 17 or something when I got it. And so 500 heavy metal albums. Let's see what they have. And a majority of them are not heavy metal albums. And it's great because that's how I always listen to music too. I had this conversation with somebody before, like there's a band called Picture from the Netherlands, and they have an album called Heavy Metal Ears, and that's what I said. I was like, I just like, you listen to music with, I just listen to it with heavy metal ears. So like, for example, you if you listen to some country song or something outside of metal, you can always just like listen to it with heavy metal ears, and then you hear what's going on there, like with that. You can hear oh wow, that's kind of this type of chord, or that's that kind of chord progression, or this kind of melody line that fits in a heavy metal kind of way. So that book, I would, instead of just like naming two or three albums, I would say just check out that book. It's pretty cool. There's a lot of bizarre shit in there that would take you off like just the straight up medieval steel Jag Panzer Rhodes. Not that there's anything wrong with those, but there's other shit to be had.
A lot of the music you do listen to, I feel like I always hear you talk about, kind of caps off at a certain area. Obviously, you still explore new bands and find out what's going on, but what is it about that traditional sound that makes you feel, what do you hear in that really makes it click and think, yeah, I want to find more about this, as opposed to other subgenres?
I've thought about that, and I think a lot of it is due to just being grown up in a certain era, and your ears are already trained from the time you're a small person. So they're already trained to hear, hell yeah, to hear certain frequencies. So that's why I was getting back to, like, when you're talking, someone's holding up a smartphone and trying to listen to this thing, they're just speaking in Swahili, and it just doesn't, it's hard for it to come through, it doesn't register like that the sound of that. So, and even though I know I record digitally, that's just the norm now, and unfortunately that's the way it is. It's just the costs, all that kind of bullshit. It's just that's the way you got to go now. So, but I still use, there's no grids. It's just guitars, there's amps and microphones.
It's a very rough sound, but it works.
It's not I don't like play to a click track. I don't run it through a modulator or whatever the fuck. Like it's all just microphones in front of amps type thing. So that's why I think, there's just like a certain subconscious sound that that I think you hear that translate to, like I said, growing up from the time I grew up. So I grew up with analog sounds, and that's just what appeases me, just hearing that.
I don't think that crow likes your answers.
I know. Come on, crow. Crow is the original evil woman. There you go.
Little fun fact for you.
Yep.
The past 15 years of touring, you have gone all over the world. You want to deal with him, or should I deal with him?
What do we got to do? Was it Animal House where they just shoot it? Okay.
All right. My boy Nathan's helping us out. Thanks, Nathan. So over the past 15 years, you've been through all corners of the world. I think a lot of bands, they'll do North America, they'll do the Central Americas, South America, Europe, of course, and really that's it. But you have made it a mission to go to a lot of other corners. And one that I do want to get a little bit of insight on is Asia. I feel like, in a weird way, Midnight has done a little side mission to sort of honor Asia in a weird way.
Side mission.
Not only with touring, but you have whenever you're there, your social media presence goes up a little bit. You've done splits with Chinese band Dinkumoil and Japanese band Abigail, and you keep going back. So what is it about the Asian scene that really keeps you interested? Is it the music scene? Is it just the culture of Asia in general?
Well, I mean, I think it's still just another continent,
Yeah.
So it may seem like it's going that way, but it's still okay. Yeah, we still do stuff with European bands. It's maybe it just seems more prevalent. Jeez, oh man, but yeah, I mean, Asian culture in general. I guess that's my type of food.
Keep talking. you keep talking. They want to hear from you.
Stone the Crow.
I'm doing an interview.
There you go.
It was not hard. He flew off.
No PETA charges on this.
Into an oven.
PETA, look away.
But yeah, I think, and so it's and I think it's just cool because a lot of like when you go into certain countries, like especially China, which was a communist country, and they had to really, to quote many bands, fight for the rock. So whereas in America we're born with the rock, which I'm totally thankful for, being born in America and born in the land of rock and roll. But like some of these other countries and where they truly did have to fight to listen to rock, to seek out all these things. It wasn't just handed to them. You just didn't go up to Gold Circle or Kmart and
pick up a record,
buy a tape, or whatever the fuck. So yeah, it's really cool to go there and people would just like flip out, like wow, this is American rock and roll. This is the way it's. So it's like not only are they enjoying it, it's like sometimes it seems like they're like taking notes too. That's why I think too a lot with Swedish bands in general over these past few years, or whatever. It's they're really, really, really good, but they're still not American or British.
The Brits do rock and roll
but that's
pretty
what
good.
it is. I mean, you got like not saying anything that any band is better or not, but you can tell like when that British American combo of heavy metal and rock and roll is that's who does it best, I think. I like tons of stuff. I do like a lot of Japanese heavy metal, 80s stuff and 70s rock and stuff. But that's of course.
But going back to Satanic Royalty, the cover, I think Satanic Royalty is usually most people's default favorite Midnight release. The cover, there's something just so object about it. I know William Lacey did the artwork, and obviously it got changed a little bit. It wasn't supposed to be blue.
Wow, you know a lot of stuff.
I did my research. You're Athenar.
All right.
We have to know. Is there?
I appreciate that.
Did that set a standard for Midnight releases and the artwork that you wanted to capture this "what the fuck am I looking at" kind of deal?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I remember just seeing that artwork for the first time when he sent it over, and I was like, whoa, that's like pro artwork, because I was just used to just grabbing some shit or whatever, and I was like, wow, that's like freaky looking. unique. It wasn't just your standard. So it was just kind of like a unique art, you know. And William is a freak, so you know I didn't expect anything less out of him. So yeah, it did just set this thing. It's like, and I think it stopped. I should say, like, trying to outdo us. Like Sweet Death and Ecstasy, you can't really get more freaky than
two
that.
Mutated women scissoring on the cover. It's
fucked up.
I think they're all very weird and abject in their own way, and it's hard not to love them.
Yeah, but I think the Hellish Expectations is his best one, man. I think
agree.
That's perfect.
I have it on a T-shirt. It was my friend's first band T-shirt.
Wow.
So, yeah. I'll talk to you about that in a second. Sticking with Satanic Royalty, You Can't Stop Steal was inspired by a Pittsburgh Steelers comeback against the Baltimore Ravens. Are there any other weird sources of inspiration for any other Midnight songs?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's tons of weird. It wouldn't be me if it wasn't weird inspiration. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. You name it. You know, Devil's Excrement. You know, just measuring your doo-doo, writing it down, documenting it, you know, checking it out. There's some weird stuff going on there. I don't know, let's see, what else we got? There's a lot of weirdness, and then some of it might get me in trouble. I don't know how many years you have to wait before you admit to certain things. So, yeah, and it's weird, but it's still open to interpretation too. You know, like a lot of it, you know, it's like, it's not so literal, so it's still open to interpretation, and it's all about the poetry. You know, it's all about what words flow off the tongue nicely.
Yeah. How do you keep up with? I mean, I feel like Midnight's lyrical content is very simple, but you also manage to stretch, you know, lust, filth, and sleaze very far lyrically. How do you keep figuring out synonyms for, you know, blood,
synonyms of stupidity,
tits, scythes? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is, man. You kind of like keep an open mind, and then like when I don't know, at least for me, then you just, ooh, that's a neat word. How can I figure out how to use that somewhere? You know, you just kind of stumble across it, and then just keep it in your back pocket for later use. But it is, you're right. It is difficult to rhyme hell and bell 433 times, you know, over the course of however many years. So,
are there any specific tracks where you're like, I can't believe I came up with this, and I am fucking proud of that lyric?
How is it? What is the word Lucaria? That one always stands out to me. So how that got used in a song is, I don't think that's ever been used in any kind of song. So Lucaria, that's a simple answer.
Fair enough. And the final question that I have for you today, this is the one that I set out to get answered. This was the one that I needed answered more than anything. Last week at your Satanic Royalty set in Cleveland, I believe it was opening for Acid Bath. Why, oh why, did you hand my friend a raw chicken?
She looked hungry. What the? And and sushi just doesn't have to be fish. Sushi can be chicken too. And yeah.
Know from experience?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's sushi is chicken too.
You got a budget on those long trips.
No, that was. Yeah, I don't know. Again, there's really no explanation to that, and that's what it comes down to. I mean, most of these shenanigans or whatever the fucking shit that I say, even now, there's no sound bites to it. You know, you watch Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley interviews, and they're all like very well thought out and placed well and by the album type answers. And any of the horse shit that happens live or here, it's. I mean, I'm riding on the fence of the fine line between stupid and clever. I mean, it's always that way. So the chicken, it's kind of, I don't know, something to do. That's all. I just had this. My buddy gave me a guitar to smash the day before. I thought, okay, well, how can I make this a little more interesting, because I don't want to fucking scare everybody by setting it on fire. I mean, that's been done before too, but okay, so how about, I don't know. I was too late to go to the butcher that day to get goats or ram's heads or anything, so just went to Save a Lot, bought some chicken, and it's kind of like maybe an homage to Alice Cooper throwing out the chicken in the audience.
Yeah.
But that was a live chicken. This one was already prepared.
No chickens
ready
were
to eat.
harmed previous to Athenar shenanigans.
I didn't harm the chicken.
It was like that when we got it.
Yeah. Save a Lot harmed it.
Certainly got treated better than that crow.
Definitely.
Anyways, I want to thank you again, Athenar, for sitting down with me and chatting with me.
Thank you.
I want to thank you all for watching. As always, check out Midnight, check out their stuff, catch them on tour. I don't think you'll have a regret about that.